Hello and welcome to another guide of me showing you 4 worm locations around the Nether. I'm going to show you 2 dark worms that are also known as Ravenous and 2 light worms known as Tithing. Before I start, if you find this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. It would mean so much to me. Also, I do stream almost every day over on my Twitch channel if you ever want to hang out live or even if you want to join in on some gaming. Before I get too far ahead of myself, please head over to the slab and keep in mind that whatever Taken Orb you currently have active depends on what worms are going to spawn inside the Nether. That means if you have the light orb active called Ambition, only light worms will spawn inside the Nether, and if you have the dark orb active called Revolve, only the dark worms will spawn inside the Nether. You're gonna have to switch out the orbs eventually so you can grab all 4 of the worms. For Act 3, Bungie added in a brand new area inside the Nether rotation called the Hole Breach. And maybe you guessed it, but yes, all 4 worms are going to be found in that new area. However, this area works just like the Fount, also known as the Meatball Room, which means there is no way you'll be able to launch straight into this area. You're gonna have to complete the first encounter and hope that RNG is on your side to hopefully bring you to this new area. Now for the locations, I'm gonna show you the 2 light glowing worms first. Worm number 1 is right where I'm at. I actually thought this was the official spawn point, so you may not spawn right in this area, but I am on the right side of that gigantic sword in the middle. You can see an icon on the map where the worm is located, but basically I turn around to look at the wall and jump up to find a worm. For the second worm, we're gonna start out in the exact same location where we're at right now. This time we're gonna make a left and run down the entire pathway. You'll come across the final boss, which is the wizard, but just keep running past her all the way to the other side of the wall. You'll see my fire team already there. You're gonna jump up, crouch through all the structure, and inside you can pick up the next worm. Now that you have the first 2 light worms, you have to grab the next 2 worms, but they are dark. So if you can, get somebody else in your fire team to become lead so you can leave, go to the apartments, change that Taken Orb to a dark, and then join back on your friend inside the Nether so you can grab the next 2 worms. If you cannot do that, you're gonna have to regrind the Nether until you make it to this room again. The first dark worm is located inside the sword. The sword has a bunch of holes that you can jump into, so starting off in the same position, run all the way down towards the sword. If it helps, you can just follow this pathway because it's kind of hard to describe, but eventually I'm going to jump up closer to the sword and I want to be on the opposite side of it, so I run through this hole and then on the other side I keep jumping up even further. There's going to be 3 holes inside the sword and you want to jump into the furthest one so you can take the holes to keep inching closer to it. Dark worm number 2 is actually in a really funny location. Run down this entire pathway, keep running straight past this entire red structure on your left, and you'll see this really red pillar right by the edge of the map, and you actually want to look down and jump down to a little structure thing that you can stand on, and when you look up, the worm's gonna be hanging on above you. Hole Breach has a few different spawn points that you can spawn into. I thought this was the only spawn point, so I apologize and I really hope this doesn't confuse you too much. If you are missing any of the other worms, I have 2 guides for that. One for the light worms and one for the dark worms that you can check out. I'll be linking it down in the description so you can find those as well. I will also be having a guide for your Barrow Diet catalysts. Now that Act 3 is out, there's 2 more catalyst perks that just dropped, and I'll be making an entire guide about it, which will also be linked down in the description. With that being said, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will either see you in a future live stream on Twitch or in another video. Bye!